Andy, really good to talk to you. We've just completed my annual review, and you've generously agreed for me to turn the tables on you right now and ask you some questions, because we had a fascinating chat.
Yeah.
And you're an evangelist with the Church Army. Tell us what your role is and your title, your proper title.
Okay, so I'm commissioned by Church Army, so I'm a Church Army officer. But my official title here in Gloucester is that I am the lead evangelist for the Church Army Centre of Mission here with Gloucester Diocese.
So that sounds pretty highfalutin. So does that mean you stand in the middle of Gloucester, cloister, and with a megaphone and tell people about Jesus? What do you actually do?
That's a great question. I've got a big enough mouth that actually I don't need a megaphone. My wife will tell you that I talk far too much and far too loudly. About 3/4 of my time is based here in Matson. It's on the outskirts of Gloucester. It's where the dry ski slope is for anybody who's ever been there. And the really nice services at, I think it's Junction 12 on the M5, all kind of fit into this area. And I'm here, about 3/4 of my time is to pioneer a new worshipping community in and around this area, with the people of this area, obviously, as well. So just coming, I've been here about 2 years, listening to the people, listening to God, listening to the area, and just trying some things and seeing what actually works. And then the other 1/4 of my time is working for the diocese in the mission and ministry department, supporting, releasing and encouraging lay pioneer leadership and looking at mission and evangelism.
Yeah, wow, that's a lot. Now, we're interested in pioneer ministry over in West Ham. We need it. We've got some communities we really want to get into and reach. You said you were trying some new things. What are you learning? What's working? What's not?
One of the things that I've really found that works, and it may be really obvious to a lot of people, but it's the idea of being interactive. And when I say that, what I genuinely mean is the ability to ask questions and reflect back on people's answers. And it's been quite difficult for me to learn that, because actually one of the things that I have enjoyed doing over the years, one of the things I believe and people have told me that God has given me a gift in, is actually preaching in churches. So actually to step away from preaching for 10, 15, 20 minutes or so, to actually being very disciplined in the interactiveness. So not telling people stuff, but actually asking the question, giving out ideas, sharing thoughts, allowing others to give their thoughts into it, and learn together, asking together, exploring together, has been really, really key. And I think people have gravitated towards us because they have felt honored, because we haven't just told them stuff. We haven't said, this is how you have to. We haven't dictated things. And we've done the whole interactive thing, and we've honored people in the interactiveness. So that's one thing that has really stuck out for me, certainly over the last year. We're also about to partner with the Long Table guys from over in Stroud, and develop a pay-as-you-can cafe model type thing here in Matson as well. So I've got no idea how that will actually look or work out, but I know that actually there's nothing like that in this area. There is no cafe space at all as such in Matson. So we're going to give that a go and see how that works out.
I get the impression you're someone who's quite happy to go and put yourself out there and begin a conversation. Am I right?
Yeah, I'm quite a risk taker. I'm quite confident in who I am and who I am in God and God in my life. So I hopefully I'm not arrogant. I would never want to be arrogant. And my wife often tells me when I start to stray towards arrogance. So she's a good accountability person, as all good wives are. And but I am confident I'm confident in the gospel. I'm confident in my relationship with Jesus, and I'm more confident now than I think I've ever been in what God thinks of me. So actually, that confidence gives me the ability to actually just talk to people, and I love chatting with people. I love hearing their stories.
Yeah. Andy, what does it mean? You're blind, so what does it mean for you being blind and having faith?
It's taken me a long time to work some of that out. I felt frustrated when I first got to know Jesus, that actually reading the stories in the Gospels about 2 blind people being healed, and I haven't been, that I found that frustrating. But what I've realized is that actually God can use all people in their circumstances with the people who they are. And what I mean by that is that by being blind, I'm able to pick up on people's voices in maybe a way that a sighted person doesn't. So I'm able to tell whether somebody's happy, sad, whether they're smiling, whether they're actually trying to hide something from me or not, which is always quite an interesting conversation. I believe God's given me a gift to actually see the real person. And I can use that phrase, to see the real person, by hearing their voice without taking on board all the other visual stuff about whether they've done their hair, what clothes they're wearing, whatever, the wrong football shirt or anything like that. I don't take in any of that information. I just get the real person by their voice. And actually, by being blind, it's meant that I've had to trust God more, possibly. I don't want to say more because that sounds arrogant, but I've had to learn maybe a deeper level of trust by being blind, but also working out how I function within the boundaries that I have. That obviously I'm not able to see, I'm not able to drive, well, not legally anyway, and I have to function within that. So just working out who I am, being encouraged and inspired by who I am, but as a blind person also knowing there are some boundaries, but actually that doesn't inhibit what God can do through me, just because there are some of those physical boundaries.
Hey, we all have boundaries, don't we? But it is God through us. It's just God through us, and if we put ourselves out there, He could do amazing things.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Listen, you've inspired me this afternoon. Thank you for just on the go being prepared to do this, and I look forward to chatting to you again. Many thanks, Andy, and every blessing.
Real privilege, pleasure. Thanks, Rod.